Well, Chris, I am on record as saying that we need to put more money into the Social Security Trust Fund. That's part of my commitment to raise taxes on the wealthy. My Social Security payroll contribution will go up, as will Donald's, assuming he can't figure out how to get out of it. But what we want to do is to replenish the Social Security Trust Fund by making sure that we have sufficient resources.
I am a nasty woman. I'm not as nasty as a man who looks like he bathes in Cheeto dust. And our pussies ain't for grabbing.
Right after the election, or days after, I attended a protest at Trump Tower with hundreds of thousands of other people, and that really incited something inside me that made me want to fight back. So just days after that, I posted a call out on Facebook to other artists and curators who are women, and I just basically did a shout out, let's put together a Nasty Women exhibition. And at the time, I thought that people would be interested, but I didn't realize how interested people would be and how much momentum there would be behind this idea and behind this project that really did spread like wildfire. So in New York City, there was a protest literally every single day for months after Trump was nominated. I think it's really important for creative thinkers to figure out what are the other ways that we can protest. I think one inventive way is to put on a massive group exhibition that happens in New York where these artworks are full on these letters that spell out nasty women, and that this show has carried around and is still ongoing today throughout the world. So I think this is a creative thought, this is a creative idea, and I think that creativity is one way that can help us escape the duality that is politics. Now I want it to continue, I want it to live on. I want different organizations and different people like Lady Kit and Michaela here in the Northeast that did a Nasty Women exhibition. I want it to exist in this format, a conference, to be able to attend a conference put on by these amazing women and these amazing artists here is a really, really exciting thing. So I look forward to seeing a lot more of this kind of activity.
Hey, look at these, everybody. Yay! I'm a nasty woman! Wow. We're all human. It's a very simple idea. This boat, this world, it has to accommodate everybody. And the only way we're going to manage that, as far as I'm concerned, is to be kind to each other and to try and understand where other people are coming from, even if their views are wildly, wildly different to our own. For me, I was just really annoyed and upset by the way that Trump responded to her in those presidential debates. It wasn't about her politics or anything like that. It was just about her being a human being, talking to another human being and being treated really dreadfully. And the idea that in some way, because she's a woman, she doesn't have the right to be treated respectfully within that kind of political debate. I just thought, that is so dreadful, and that there's somebody who's running for, and now is, president who thinks that it's acceptable to treat somebody like that, basically because they're a woman, I found just really atrocious.
When I was in university, even in college and school, I never learned about women artists at all. It never really got brought up. We had a lecture of how many women artists can you name? And they were so proud we could name more than like 5, which is like, well, we should be able to name more than 5 women artists. There's many out there. And that's just kind of related to my feminist and moving my agenda in the arts.
Women's rights and human rights has absolutely always been important to me, but I've never been as politically active since this. And I think that sometimes something happens when a politician is so absolutely ludicrous and severe that you just feel pushed into a corner or even like thrown up against a wall, and you have to do something about it. So it was really this sense of urgency that really incited me to get involved in this way. And also, because the Facebook post went viral, I was really able to see how many people were interested and how many people wanted to be involved instantly. This was a spark that lit a flame, and the momentum kept building. And I felt like almost at that point that it was my responsibility to figure out a way to follow through with this idea and to turn it into a reality. It's very, very apparent that we can't be lackadaisical anymore and that things are not fine.
Being a nasty woman is about the main fundamentals of what they're trying to put forward. It's the equality of it, it's putting forward issues that are still happening, and the unfairness and challenging that and empowering girls, empowering guys, everyone involved can be part of something bigger and better for the wider scale of things, and that's what I really appreciate.
You haven't used the word feminism in this interview or online. Is that intentional?
I am a feminist, definitely, but it's not a word that immediately comes to mind often. And I think there are quite a lot of people who feel that feminism isn't for them for whatever reason. And I don't want anybody to feel like that about Nasty Women. We're a really, really open movement, and I think especially our local group is really, really open. And we just say, you know, if you're anti-Trump and you're pro-equality and you're interested in how art might help those things, then come along and get involved. You know, it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or anything.
Being a nasty man, I think there was a lot of things I had my friends say, oh, you're a nasty woman? You're a man, what's going on? It's the ideas behind it.
Those are 12-week-old fetuses, and they are used, silicon, and they are used by the pro-life movement, Christian pro-life movement, to scare people off, because they think when you do an abortion it's murder. And I think the opposite. So I used these fetuses for a solo exhibition I did a few years ago, and I ordered 2,000 of them at this pro-life organization, and they completely ran out of stock. So then they couldn't use them for their purposes, and I could use them for my own purpose. And that is the exact opposite that what they are doing. So I wanted to point out that women have the right to decide over their own bodies, should have the right to decide over their own bodies, and not other men or other people. Just every woman has the right to decide of her own. And so now these little fetuses have become pro-choice instead of pro-life.
What we want to do is empower others. We want this to live on in various ways and be dynamic in a way like a piece of art, to constantly change and evolve. And for instance, even though the show in New York, we donated all profits to Planned Parenthood, Planned Parenthood doesn't exist everywhere. It's not necessarily outside of the United States. So we want people to feel like they can donate to whatever charity makes the most sense for them. So I think with this way of thinking, this is how something that can continue, can evolve. Hopefully the snowball keeps rolling and picking up momentum. Certainly conferences like this are going to help that pursuit.
It's shone a light on feminist art too. It's getting people together, which is always nice, and showing that there's many people out there who are not going to take this anymore with Trump and what's happening like everywhere at the minute with all the sexual allegations and assaults and just this horrendous thing. But people are talking about it now. I don't know if Nasty Women has anything to do with that, but it's highlighting more things of just like, let's talk about this in a bigger community.
Even though I had this idea, I think this idea on some level, whether it was conscious or not, was brewing inside of a lot of people. I just posted it at the right time. The timing was absolutely right, and all these people latched onto this idea. Social media can be a really positive tool. It can connect us. It can connect us as humans, and deep down, and my deep philosophy is that we are all connected. Donald Trump has not done anything good, but if I had to think about something positive coming out of this experience, it's people coming together, people fighting back.